Okay, so let's look at a couple examples from D. Number 1 we'll start with. To get our x alone, what do I need to move first? 5, 9, or 4? 5, good. It's a positive 5, so we will subtract 5. I now have x over 9 is greater than or equal to 4 minus 5 is negative 1. Now to get x alone, it's saying x divided by 9. So to undo division, we multiply. Those 9's cancel. I'm left with x. Do I flip my symbol? What do we think? Do I flip the symbol?
No, because it wasn't negative.
Good. No, we're multiplying by positive 9. So I keep that. And then negative 1 times 9 is negative 9. So there's my solution. And now we graph that on our number line. So I have negative 9, negative 8, negative 7 is what really gets bigger, and negative 10 and negative 11. Closed circle because we're greater than or equal to, and because we're greater than, we move to the right. Any questions on number 1? Okay, like I said, let's go now take a look at number 5. Let's hear from someone else. So I've heard from Max and Tim. Let's hear, what do I move first? 8, 4, or 3? Come on.
The 8, 4.
Okay, who just talked? I don't know. 2 people say something?
I said 4.
Okay, yes, so I already heard from you, but yes, okay. And Moses, I think I heard from you, which was the 8. And so here's what I want to clarify, okay? So look at number 1 that we just did, verse number 5, okay? And you guys have it, I actually can squeeze them both on right now. Do you see how in number 1, we have this 5 out front, and then we have just like a small fraction, like with just one denominator? On number 5, the entire thing is a fraction. So do you see that difference? So that's why in number 1, that 5 was least attached to the x. It wasn't part of the fraction, so I got rid of it first. However, on number 5, that 8 is part of the fraction. So I can't get rid of the 8 yet. I have to get rid of the denominator first. So we are going to multiply by 4 first. Okay, so if there's a number away from the fraction, go ahead and move that first. Otherwise, we get rid of that denominator. So I multiply by 4, it'll cancel. I'm left with 8 minus n. And since I'm multiplying by positive 4, my symbol stays, and 3 times 4 is 12. Now that that denominator is gone, I can get rid of the 8. However, is it a positive or a negative 8 right now? Positive. So to undo that positive, we subtract 8. Don't forget, you're left with a negative n. And 12 minus 8 is 4. Last but not least, we need to get rid of the negative, so we divide through by negative 1s. Remember that, okay? Remember I had said a couple people subtracting by 1. We're dividing through. So that gives me, I'm just going to put it over here, that gives me that n, I'm dividing by a negative, so we must flip our symbol, is less than or equal to negative 4. And make sure, like I said, we're okay with our number lines with negatives. So I have negative 4, and then negative 3, negative 2 are actually the larger ones. Close circle, and I am less than, so I go to the left.
Could we also do either 9 or 10?
Yep, remember I was saying we're going to do 1, 5, and 9. So
Okay.
just hang tight. Does anyone have any questions with 5? Okay, let's go to number 9. So for number 9, what am I going to move first? Okay, I don't want to hear from Max or Tim though. So what, because again, just because I've heard from you guys and you did a good job, but I want to hear from other people. What will I move first? And I'm going to give you 2 options. It's either option, I'm going to call this either option A or option B. What gets moved first? Option A or option B? Type it into the chat. Everybody. What am I going to move first? They're both 5s, but which 5? The option A 5 or the option B 5? Good, Eva. Good, Dominic. See, you guys could participate out loud. You know what you're doing. Come on, other people. I only have 2 people in the chat. Good, Ashley. So they're both 5s. Which 5 am I moving first? The one I'm calling option A or the one I'm calling option B? Everybody needs to participate right now. And if it's wrong, it's wrong. That's fine. But that means you're actually participating and listening to me asking you a question. If your cameras are off and you're not typing anything, to me that means you're not even there. Right? Come on. All right, thank you for those that participated. Others of you, I don't know what's going on. You simply are to type an A or a B into the chat. And it's okay if you're wrong. This is not a test. This is you being engaged and participating. So the one that we're going to get rid of first is what I'm calling option A. So if you said A, you are correct. If you said B, that's okay. At least you participated. So thank you for that. Okay? So this guy right here is the one I need to get rid of. And that is a positive 5, so we are going to subtract 5. And the reason for that is because that is not part of the fraction. It's away from that P. It's furthest away. That 17, we're not even touching. It's on the other side already. But the 5 I underlined is least attached to that P, so we move it first. Now I have 12 is greater than negative 4/5 P. Okay, now what do I do from here? Jake, you were killing it yesterday with telling us what to do. Do you remember now today what we're going to do?
Are we on 10?
9.
Oh.
Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
So see where we're at here? It says 12 is greater than negative 4/5 P. How do I get rid of that negative 4/5?
Oh, multiply by the reciprocal.
Perfect. Very good. Okay, so we're going to now multiply by that reciprocal, which is negative 5/4. Or it doesn't matter where the negative goes, but remember, it only goes on one of them. So to make life easier, I'm going to make that a 12 over 1. So I'm going to go across. Negative 5 times 12 is negative 60. And 4 times 1 is 4. Remember, we just multiplied by a negative, so my symbol switches. And that right-hand side, by multiplying by the reciprocal, it canceled. So it's just a P. Now we simplify. And negative 60 divided by 4, I actually can do, it's negative 15. Should I circle my answer right now? Yes or no?
No, put P on the other side.
Very good. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite this so that P comes first. It was opening to P and then the negative 15. And now we can make our number line. So negative, whoa, sorry, I just totally did that wrong. I was looking at the wrong number. There we go, negative 16, negative 17. So we have our number line, and now we can go ahead and sketch that. So open circle, because we're just greater than, and to the right. Okay, so number 9, we used a reciprocal because that fraction said like was out front and said 4/5 P. However, and I'll come back, we did not use a reciprocal on number 5 because we were just dividing by 4, so I multiply by 4. And we did not use a reciprocal on number 1 because it did not say like 2/9 x. It was literally divided by. So when the fraction is out front of the variable, like this guy that I'm circling, that's when I would use a reciprocal. And so same thing on number 10, not the first step, but number 10, I see a fraction out front. So you will use a reciprocal on number 10. Whereas if it just said, P over 5, we just multiply by 5. We don't use a reciprocal. Okay? Any questions? All right, so what I want you to do is I want you to continue to work on this worksheet. If you have questions, you ask. Once you finish this worksheet, then you're continuing to work on IXL. Is that clear to everybody?